Hey tankers, what is up? This is Alexbuildit. This is not a full review, I already have one of those on my channel in the last video. I just thought maybe you'd like to see some games that were sequential, there were no games in between, they're just 3 games in a row, to maybe help you understand how to play the IS-3. I'll be doing a little bit of commentary, just sort of like a part 2 to the review, gameplay, and history that I already put up. And I will leave the link to that in the description below. So we're in the IS-3 Defender, we are on the map Canal. And looks like we're going to be going left, because they had mostly mediums. And mediums, for some reason, while the cap was still on the left-hand side of this map, that's where everyone used to go. But now that they moved the cap circle to the right side, it made it a little bit more variable. Sometimes we'll see whole teams going right, but for the most part, people still end up going left. Now I'm going the center route here, instead of doubling back and going around the hill, now I can get some side shots on people who want to go on my right here, and which actually happened. Perfect. There's a comet. Let aim in just enough, and fire. Thanks to the good accuracy, it went right through, and it did a decent amount of damage. Oh look, a second person. This just proves my theory even more. Going center on your way to the left-hand side of the map is very, very good. Very good idea. Panther, I'm not sure who to shoot. It looks like I'm just trying to get some damage into everyone. There we go, I unloaded all 3 shells, bouncing a few rounds, because he hit the angled side of the IS-3 Defender. IS-3 Defender just looks so cool. He manages to track me. This tank is very easy to track and get perma-tracked, something you have to watch out for, because the tracks are so more visible than the normal IS-3s. They're like more pronounced, they're out in the open. And they have sort of a weird shape and color, which makes them very, very obvious for people trying to track you. You'll end up taking track damage quite a bit. Coming around the corner, seeing what's what. Consider firing a high explosive into the Panther M10, but I decided to just roll with APCR that first shot. It looks like the second shot should just be armor piercing opposite rigid again. Fire, get a good shell in, 2 down, taking 1 or 2 shots in this Panther 2, making sure I reload the clip. Aiming towards the rear for hopefully to immobilize him. He backs up, another shell in. This thing is an absolute beast once the shells are loaded, but now you have to go through the long process of getting the clip recycled. When you see an IS-3 Defender, and when you know it's fired 3 times, rush it, try to get around it. The traverse is decent, but not amazing, so if you have decent maneuverability, try a Circle of Death on one. Reload, 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 aim, and fire. There's 1 tank down. Coming over the hill here, remember that peekaboom and haul down are the ways to play this tank in between the individual shells. It's the best way for success. There's a Type 59. Let it aim in just enough. It bounces off the one part that was red, right next to the turret. That was annoying. Reload the shell, and I will kill you right there. 2 down. Now we just gotta go find that T-34. I absolutely wrecked people on their way up there, so they had less HP to work with once they actually got to the top of the hill and started working with the opponents. And like I said in my last video, look for enemies that aren't looking at you, like maybe going around a flank like I did, or a place they're not suspecting. Heading right, looking for any shot I may have. It looks like he's relatively well hidden behind these pipes, so it's time to move up. Still looking, still looking. If he decides to give me a shot, I will more than gladly take it. That's kind of a risky one, and all I ended up doing was tracking him. Moving forward to make sure I don't just track him this time. He bounces because I shifted at the very last second, which changed where the armor is. Remember, with the pike nose, you want to wiggle it a little bit left and right, because the plate not facing the opponent when he shoots is virtually impregnable to tier 8s of the same tier. Very decent game, I did very well. Most damage, and this thing is an absolute beast at grinding credits. It's almost better than the IS-6 in regards to credit grinding. Right here, just take a look, 89,000. One time I earned 70,000 credits in a loss. This is one of the best credit earners available, and even more so with premium time. We are in another tier 8 matchup. I am going to be heading center because, yet again, I'm trying to find people who are going on their way up to the caves where I can get decent side shots. Waiting for the game to load in, and here we go. That electric arc in the back of the vehicle looks so cool while you're moving. I wish I had a sound effect, that'd be a lot of fun. Heading on up, heading on up. The deliverability of this thing, like I mentioned in my last video, very, very decent. Now, some people were commenting on my loadout. You cannot put adrenaline on this tank, otherwise I totally would, because it is an autoloader and autoloaders cannot load adrenaline. The next choice some people said was speed boost. I do not agree with speed boost. If it works for some people, that's great and they should stick with it, but I think having a second repair kit, even if it's a single one, can help you in a lot of situations. Like, let's say you get perma-tracked. If you have to wait 60 seconds for the other one to fix and get itself cooled off so you can use it again, you'll have a second repair kit that you can use to get yourself out of that situation. Or say your ammo rack gets hit, you fix it, and it gets hit again. Remember, this is an IS-3's hull, and it does have a relatively weak ammo rack. I have taken ammo rack damage quite a bit, and being able to repair that twice, especially with such a long reload, is imperative. First shot in, easy shell into that Tiger 2. Reload, 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 7.5 second reload. And like I said before, retreat while you reload. That way they don't even have the chance of hitting you to conserve hit points, HP. And aim in, fire, trying to aim where the ammo rack is, right behind the pike nose of the IS-3 on the left and right, both of those places where they are weak. Third shell, in. Reload. Remember, these are sequential games. Just recording in row. Moving on to the right, looking to the left, trying to figure out what's going on, where should I aim? That guy gets ammo racked. I really wish we had the turrets that pop off like in PC. Hopefully that will come at some point. Looks like the Tiger decided to ditch and move left. There's the SP1C, but I'm looking at this IS-3 defender, try and get a good shell on him. Wait till he moves up a bit, and my aim moves in a bit as well. And it looks like these people are just coming up, kind of like fish in a barrel. Very easy shells. And the SP1C is peeking out at me. He manages to bounce. I am just trying to show my turret only, which again, that is another great way to play this tank. Show the turret and you have very little to worry about. They will need something with very high penetration, or there is that flap that's right above the gun, which is the driver's hatch, and that is only 20mm thick, but it's relatively hard to hit unless you get from above. You can actually reliably penetrate the top hatch with high explosives since it's 20mm, but only if you get a direct shot from the roof. That shot is much easier on a normal IS-3 than the IS-3 Defender, because the IS-3 Defender has a different shaped turret. The IS-3 Defender looks remarkably like the IS-3A, which makes me wonder if the IS-3A will ever be coming to Blitz. The IS-3A is an autoloader in the sense that there's no loader that's a human. A machine loads the shells. There's no clip size. Although it has been seen on several sites that the IS-3 is in-game and it is different from the IS-3 Defender, I'm not sure if it will ever show up for sale or not, and what the developers plan to do with that. That'll be very interesting to see. Pop in a shell, pop in 2 shells, and that's game. No, although I didn't do amazingly, this is sequential games, remember, I'm not just picking out the best games that I have. It was relatively decent. I earned over 100,000 credits. That's where this comes in as one of the best things in game for earning credits. Over 100,000 in one match. That's almost better than an IS-6. The last game will be today. Will be, and again, in Black Goldville, 2 times in a row. Good grief. Looking around. Very mean looking tank. Love it. I love the skin job they've done here. Again, I'm going to be going center because it has worked out best for me. If you manage to go to the caves, which is an acceptable tactic, you'll use it for hull down and such, I just think that although it works, I will almost always be going center as it's more defendable in my opinion, and you get a lot of side shots and people who want to crest the hill like you saw in last video, like that J-Panther 2 and IS-3 Defender. If there's no one who goes caves, they feel tempted to go over the center, and then they're available from 3/4 of the map where you can actually hit them if they've been spotted. Which is why I just tend to go center. It looks like this T-34 Independence is going with me. People call it the clown car because it's so hilariously painted, but it's really cool. I wonder if they'll sell it again this 4th of July. That'll be a lot of fun. I might actually pick one up because I don't have a T-34. Coming around the corner, same exact time like last time, there's a Black Prince. On my left. Looking around on my right. There we go, Tiger 2. Aim, fire. Fire 1. Almost exactly like last game. Last game I started off by hitting Tiger 2. I load heat. I was gonna fire at the low, but heat was showing me his upper plate, which was a little bit bouncy considering I have heat loaded. I load heat again, and I'm gonna kill the Tiger 2, but it gets destroyed. Zoom in a little bit, manage to get a shell in, damage his engine. Then I noticed this issue right here with the YAG Tiger 88. I'm showing him just my side so that if he does decide to fire, he will not have a good shot at me at all. Looks like the Black Prince decided to try shooting at me, but he hit my turret. The YAG Tiger 88 hit my turret. The turret is extremely bouncy. Yak Tiger 88 fires again and hits my turret, because that's basically all I'm showing him. And if he wanted to shoot at my hull, he'd have to be loading APCR, because I'm showing him the wrong plate. T-43 is getting absolutely smushed, and he's stuck, but I cannot help him from that position, because I cannot force the load down the hill. I should have fired high explosive there, because the T-34 does have a weak rear, but I did not. Pop out. Fire! Another decent 400 damage roll. I'm just showing him the turret. He hits the gun itself, and that means the shell is just not going to penetrate. Fire again, leaving him with just a little bit of HP. I back up and see if I can't actually help this T-43, who is stuck by the low, just to investigate. I can't waste my time helping him if it's impossible to save him, and because of his position, I don't see a way I can actually help him. So I'm going to have to just leave him there for now. Sorry, T-43. If I could have helped, I definitely would have. Load high explosive just to save a little bit of money. Easy kill right there. Taking some shots, it looks like I just took 2 in a row and 1 bounced earlier, which means I'm guessing that was the Cheery autoloader. Trying to help an ally real quick who's being assaulted by this Black Prince. I load 1 round in, back up, wait for the clip to reload, or not the clip but the shell itself, and fire! Looking on my right, looks like I am being attacked again by that Cheery. He managed to fire 2 for 3, not bad for that Cheery. He's playing his tank rather well. Poke out, hoping to get the kill shot. If not, that's fine. And looks like someone else manages to get the kill, yes. And I accidentally fire my shell, so now it's time to reload that shell, which means reloading the entire clip. But since the Cheery, I think it's running or is camping in town, and it'll take a while to get there, it doesn't really matter. I'll just get the whole clip reloaded now. Better safe than sorry. Also, I noticed that the Cheery has very weak side armor, and the high explosive that this tank can fire is probably sufficient to get so the side shot synthetics will detonate and go through the side of the Cheery, so I'll just keep that in mind as I come through the town. I cannot penetrate a Cheery funnily with high explosive though, that's why I'm loading a PCR. If I get a side shot, I will most definitely use it. I see my light bulb go off, 6 cents, so I know he's around here somewhere, but now the question is, where? I'm just barreling through, making no attempt to hide myself. I want him to come and attack me. I want to make myself look like a good target. And then I know it can take about 2 full clips of the Cheery before I'm dead. Looking around. Where could he be? Going forward, checking behind these houses. Ah, there we go. Spotted. I let the first shot zoom in a little bit, and then I fire it. I consider switching to high explosive, and I do. Looking for that side shot. If he keeps giving me that, I'll take it. 455 damage. It penetrated, but was a low roll. The Cheery bounces all 3 shots, and he's playing hard to get right now. I have 1 shell loaded. I could reload the whole clip right now, but that'd probably be a waste of time. But I fire it, and I miss, so now I have to reload it regardless. 1 shot bounced. 2 shells bounced. 3 shells bounced. Reload. In many ways, it's just me, because the T-43 is stuck, and he's actually still in game, he didn't decide to leave, and the Tiger 2 cannot help me at the moment. So, it's just me versus this Cheery. He goes forward, I go forward. Now, this is a good trick to learn. If you go forward, the other guy reverses, reverse yourself, and you'll catch him. There we go. Game over. GG, folks, GG. Then that is just a little bit more gameplay, maybe help you decide if you really want to go through all the trouble to grind this thing. I think it's actually worth it, but again, I grind like through stages 1 through 6, maybe even 1 through 7 if you have the time, and gold the 8th to make it only about a $10 tank. Totally worth it. I got a ton of credits. I did over 4,000 damage, first class. Anyway, tankers, if you enjoyed just a little bit more gameplay for this, may consider like, commenting, and subscribing. Alexbuildit out, and enjoy going through the grind for the IS-3 Defender, a remarkably powerful Soviet tank. Blitz on, tankers.